Good evening. It is another Wednesday night, and you know what it is we do at this time. So you're just in time for an hour and a half of news where you get an extra feel of stories within Nigeria and beyond, treated with unique insight. Tonight, we shall update you on President Buhari's engagement at the ongoing US-Africa Summit, part of which is the discussion on energy transition plan. The Federal Executive Council sat and gave approval for the Finance Bill 2022, designed to support the implementation of the 2023 budget, and it promises to be bon voyage all the way for travelers as federal government opens second Niger Bridge for temporary use during the Yuletide season. Talking about the Yuletide season, the sweet renditions of carols are already on the upswing mood, and we shall serve you some. In politics, the campaign trains of political parties are on the move for 2023, jostling to be part of history. More so now that history as a subject is back on the nation's educational curriculum. Don't miss out on our well put together special reports, ranging from curbing the menace of e-waste to coal pots as alternative means of cooking. We also have business and trending stories around sports for your viewing pleasure. That's just a bit of the outlook of tonight's lineup. So just sit back now and let's serve you the whole package. After all, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I am Fatima Umar Buba, and this is News Extra. You're welcome. Well, remember, you can follow this news live on our website, nta.ng/live, NTA News Now, and all other social media platforms displayed on your screens for updates. President Muhammadu Buhari has declared Nigeria's intention to completely eliminate the use of petrol and diesel generators by 2060 as part of its multi-pronged energy transition plan, a plan aimed at achieving energy security and net zero emissions. A $10 billion investment, he however said, is needed per annum towards achieving the objectives, and made a strong case for technical and financial support from the United States. This was at a high-level session on supporting conservation, climate adaptation, and the just energy transition as part of US-Africa Leaders Summit in Washington, D.C. State House correspondent Adam Sambo reports.
With the theme, Building Our Green Future Together, the session attended by African and U.S. leaders as well as key stakeholders provided a forum for showcasing shared efforts towards conserving and restoring Africa's ecosystems as well as rich natural resources. Discussions also centered on diversifying the continent's energy matrix, realizing energy security goals, and building sustainable supply chains.
Africa will be at the center of the clean energy transition. Its renewable energy potential is second to none. It's home to roughly a third of all critical minerals essential to the technology that will power the clean energy economy. But with nearly half of sub-Saharan Africa's population lacking reliable access to electricity, and the population set to grow to more than 2 billion people by 2050, how that transition is made will be decisive in shaping our future climate. The United States will work closely with African countries as they determine how best to meet their specific energy needs.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who addressed participants at the closed session, takes pride in the fact that Nigeria is the first African country to develop a detailed energy transition plan towards tackling both energy poverty and climate change, as well as delivering net zero emissions by 2060. Already, he said, the country has embarked on several reforms and unveiled impactful projects aimed at generating 30 gigawatts of electricity by 2030, with renewable energy contributing 30% of the energy mix. Delivering the energy transition plan, the president said, requires $1.9 trillion spending up to 2060, which translates to $10 billion per annum. He therefore made a case for Nigeria to be included in the G7 Climate Partnership List for the co-creation of just energy transition. President Buhari also seeks the support of the United States for Nigeria's full participation in the global carbon markets, as well as developing innovative business models and integrating renewables efficiently into the national grid. This, the president said, is a time like none other to unlock the development potentials of Nigeria and transform the lives of millions of people by tapping into the potential returns in the yet to be fully optimized Nigeria's enormous market. From Washington, D.C., Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Still in Washington, President Muhammadu Buhari says Nigerian youths are his promise for a better future and solving their problems remains his administration's top priority. This was while exchanging views with a delegation from the Abuja Foundation led by its Secretary General. State House correspondent Adam Sombo reports.
The delegation from the Abu Dhabi Foundation had come to formally invite President Muhammadu Buhari to attend the conferment upon him his prestigious award in recognition of his outstanding achievements in promoting peace and security. The conferment is in line with the foundation's work in fighting religious extremism and promoting peaceful coexistence and dialogue amongst all religions, as explained by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu.
It's an important moment for the President, coming at a time when two things are happening simultaneously. One is that there is a downward trend in terrorism, in banditry, in kidnapping, farmer-herder clashes. In our country, things are coming down. And also generally, there is increasing activity by the government of Nigeria to stabilize the entire West African region. And there is a recognition of the fact that, the world is watching, they're seeing what it's doing, and they're coming to say, thank you to Nigeria.
President Buhari said the commitment of the foundation in promoting multi-faith dialogue is as important to the world as it is to Nigeria. He spoke about the need to raise generations of youth devoid of religious extremism and bigotry, urging the group to continue to target the young people who are the promise of the future.
President is emphatic that all of these things that are going on, the efforts to stabilize the country and also create peace in neighboring countries, it is for the future of our young people who must be given a future that is free of intolerance, one rich in accommodation, full of brotherliness.
President Buhari's engagements in Washington, D.C. continue. Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And back home, the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning today got approval for the Federal Executive Council for the Finance Bill 2022 that is designed to support the implementation of the 2023 budget. Vice President Yemi Oshibajo is to chair a council that will implement the revised National Social Protection Policy, and the Ministry of Power can now do away with the old testing device for their transformers, as the Federal Executive Council gave approval to the ministry to acquire a more advanced testing device for reliable results. State House correspondent Judy Onifade reports on these and other decisions taken at the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja.
The current investment in the power sector by this administration, the Minister of Power, Abubakar Aliyu, is optimistic that more megawatts will be generated and distributed to Nigerians. And if you still want to hear more about the Orosaye report, the implementation, Minister of Finance speaks about this.
Approval of contract for the procurement of 20 number transformer turns ratio analyzers.
The transformer turns ratio analyzer is a state-of-the-art testing device to be used by the Transmission Company of Nigeria for reliable testing and diagnosing of power transformers. This is the only memo presented by the ministry and approved by the Federal Executive Council. On the sideline, the minister was asked how the country hopes to achieve its targets on power generation and distribution.
With the various interventions going on, the expansion we're making, 330 line expansion and so many other transmission construction going on, we will increase by the time we are leaving 6,000 capacity on the transmission.
The head of service also presented a memo on group life assurance cover for the period of 2022 to 2023. Minister of Finance Zainab Ahmed speaks on this.
It's an insurance cover that is covering all government officials.
The minister also speaks on the request for approval by Council for Finance Bill 2022, designed to support the implementation of the 2023 budget. The bill, she says, has 5 focuses,
including tax equity reforms, climate change and green growth provisions, job creation and economic growth reforms, reforming tax incentives, as well as generating revenue and enhancing tax administration. Memo we presented on the draft bill for the draft whistleblower bill for 2022. This memo has been reviewed by Council and approved with a provision to ensure alignment with the Evidence Act.
The third memo that got approval was the one for the design, construction and supply of 9 patrol boats in the sum of 689 million naira, 222,681 naira for the Nigerian Customs Service.
Council approved the revised National Social Protection Policy 2021 to 2025. For the efficient and effective coordination of the policy, the National Social Protection Council is to be set up and to be chaired by His Excellency the Vice President, with the Secretariat domiciled in the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning.
There is a presidential committee. In fact, 2 different committees were set up, supervised by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and the Head of Service. Both committees have finished their work. So one committee was reviewing the report as submitted. Another committee was reviewing new agencies that have come up after the Orosenya report. So there's supposed to be an alignment and there's a white paper process going on. So we're hopeful that we can implement the recommendations of those committee within the lifetime of this administration.
The Federal Executive Council meeting was presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo in the State House. Jide Onifade, NJ News.
So legislative matters now. Since the Central Bank of Nigeria announced its new policy on cash withdrawal limits and implementation of the cashless policy, it's been reactions after reactions. This time, the Senate has urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to consider the adjustment of its new cash withdrawal limit. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports.
1 week after the House of Representatives called for the suspension of the new CBN policy on withdrawal limit, the Senate has advised the Apex Bank to adjust the withdrawal limit, which it says it's in the interest of the public. Senate had mandated its Committee on Banking, Insurance and other financial institutions to engage the newly reappointed deputy governors of the bank for a comprehensive explanation.
That the committee should continue to embark on aggressive oversight of the CBN on its commitment to flexible adjustment of the withdrawal limit and periodically report outcome to the Senate.
But when we are now trying to say we know this policy should not work, when we have not even tried it, it's not the best thing for the country.
But forcing people to do that will just create a situation where our homes, particularly rural dwellers and elders, their pillow cases will become their banks.
So we must support this cashless. How much money is it in the rural areas?
By end of this month, with what they have mocked up, we should see at least a 7 percentage point in inflation rate.
Some of the senators made proposals on the amounts to be adjusted.
The threshold should be 500,000 naira, not 100,000. And for withdrawal per daily should be 100,000.
They should do 500,000 per day for individual, and they will do 3 million per day for corporates. That will cover any fear of anybody. We have done this in our state. It is true that there are challenges, but we have to make progress because this is the only way to go.
That the Central Bank of Nigeria should considerably adjust the withdrawal limits in response to public outcry on the policy. Those in favor will say aye, those against say nay, the ayes have it.
Meanwhile, Senate has confirmed the appointment of Aisha Ahmed and Edward Adamu for appointment as deputy governors of the Central Bank of Nigeria for a second and final term. Senate passed for second reading the National Information Technology Development Agency Act Repeal and Reenactment Bill, sponsored by Leader of the Senate, Ibrahim Gobir.
There is a bare need to review the act to accommodate contemporary issues that would move the country forward.
The National Information Technology Development Agency was established in 2007 from the National Assembly. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
In the meantime, Senate has advised the Ministry of Power and Bureau of Public Enterprises on the need to exercise caution in handling the concession process of Zungeru Hydroelectric Power Plant. This was at an investigative hearing on the process of concession declared open by President of the Senate, National Assembly correspondent Dayo Ogunshola reports.
Zungeru Hydroelectric Power Plant was conceived in 2012 as part of the federal government's efforts to address energy crisis. Attempts by the Bureau of Public Enterprises to concession the power plant while the project is yet to be completed is a matter of concern to the Senate.
While a segment of the public has applauded the modest gains of the privatization of government-owned power assets in Nigeria, mounting challenges that emerged after the exercise have made many question the credibility of the process that produced the successor companies and the viability of such companies, hence the need for extreme caution in the concessioning of the remaining government-owned power assets.
While the Ministry of Power believes the process is in order, the Senate cautions that the rush to complete the process must be checked.
The Ministry of Power supports the concession of the 700 megawatts Zungeru Hydroelectric Power Plant as other hydro power plants in the country.
Why don't you wait and let us be sure that once you concession this plant, the person is not coming back with any story that a defect plant was handed over to him.
Really not a rush. We're just being mindful of the timing that a typical concession transaction or process takes.
For the Senate, given the previous experience of the nation in similar situations, the BPA must come up with a new timetable that captured all concerns raised. From the National Assembly, Dayo Ogunshola, NTA News.
In another story, the House of Representatives says development and strategies on sustainable energy by the public and private sector will enhance the implementation of the Electric Power Sector Reform Act. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that a motion from Chukuma Moji suggested that federal government should focus on exploring renewable energy like nuclear, solar biomass and wind to have desired impact.
Challenges in the power sector have been around for decades, as observed by the lawmakers. It's been on the front burner of successive administrations. House members are of the view that, in addition to other initiatives, establishing a clear investor-friendly framework on renewable energy could be the best option for sustainable growth in the sector.
If the private sector is allowed to invest in mini-grid capabilities to serve communities or local government areas, regions, or target industrial clusters, there will be a significant improvement in electricity distribution across the country.
And as campaigns by political parties for the 2023 election progress, the lawmakers called for restraint as the House adopts a resolution to investigate alleged attack on the campaign train of a senatorial candidate in Kogi State.
Suspected political thugs and hoodlums attacked the campaign train of the senatorial candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) of the Kogi Central Senatorial District, Mrs. Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan, during her rally from Okene to Adabi.
Other features at plenary include the third reading and passage of bills, among them bill that seeks to restrict use of foreign vessels in domestic waters for commercial activities.
To promote the development of indigenous tonnage and establish the cabotage vessel financing fund and for matters.
Bill to establish Nigerian Military Academy in Enugu State was considered and approved.
An establishment bill that is meant to upgrade perhaps an existing military institution to a degree awarding institution in the same direction.
In another development, the ad hoc committee investigating non-compliance with tax laws in the oil and gas sector has reiterated its resolve not to take it lightly with operators found wanting. It was when the management of Belema Oil and Energy Resources appeared before the committee but without requested documents.
We've not been available for most of the sittings. The information is not complete. We cannot engage you in ignorance.
You waited until you are about to go on Christmas break with the excuse that we should wait for you. You have submitted 70%. Maybe what we are looking for is in the 30%.
The committee is investigating infractions from 1990 to date. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NCA News.
And we head to Asaba now. The difficulties experienced by commuters plying Second Niger Bridge during festive season at the Asaba end of the old bridge will be a thing of the past as the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, has opened the bridge to traffic as part of measures by the federal government to ease the movement of goods and services this season. Chinyere Ukoli witnessed the event and now reports.
The minister said the perennial pain awaiting travelers every December will be over as the bridge will be open to traffic from Thursday 15th December to 1st of January, then reopens on 2nd of January 2023 to 15th of January 2023. He explained that while the construction of the bridge has been completed, work is still ongoing on linking the bridge to the major highway.
A solution to a problem that has been with us for over a generation when people move from west to east at the end of the year, and sometimes it just takes days to cross a river because the old bridge has been outgrown by our population and our economic size. So a lot of people have talked about a solution, but the Buhari administration decided to implement one, which is to build the bridge, whatever it took.
Fashola equally appealed to Nigerians and other road users to take ownership of roads in their areas by ensuring that activities which weaken the asphalt on the roads are discouraged, and advised the motorists to drive with caution.
I beg of all of you, please drive safely. The maximum speed limit on Nigerian roads is 100 kilometers per hour, not 101. Just stay below 100. I want you to have a Merry Christmas with your families. The president wants that too. So he has asked me to appeal to all of you to please drive carefully, observe the speed limit, and stay alive to witness a happy 2023.
Indeed, the Second Niger Bridge is a dream come true. A nation connected with world-class infrastructure is a Nigeria of our dreams, and this facility will surely help in actualizing that. From the Second Niger Bridge, I'm Chinyere Ukoli, NTA News.
Interesting. Now, Meta owners of Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp have announced steps to protect the integrity of Nigeria's forthcoming general elections. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed disclosed this at the ongoing PMB scorecard series in Abuja. Anthony Forson has that.
I said the increasing resort to fake news and disinformation by some political actors and a section of the media constitutes a present danger to the success of the election.
Before now, the Information and Culture Minister has consistently warned about the dangers the 2023 elections face if fake news and disinformation are not checked, as the platform of choice has always remained the social media. So, at this edition of the PMB Scorecard 2015-2023 series, the minister announced what Meta has agreed to do.
In this regard, I want to acknowledge the announcement by Meta, the owners of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, that it will take clearly outlined steps to protect the integrity of the forthcoming elections. Specifically, Meta detailed the actions it plans to take to combat disinformation and to make political advertising more transparent.
To this end, Lai Mohammed dropped this advice for other platforms.
Meta has demonstrated a great sense of responsibility, and we hope the company will live up to its promise. We also urge other platform owners like Google, owners of YouTube, and others, ByteDance, owners of TikTok, Twitter, and the Telegram Group Incorporated, owners of Telegram Messenger, to emulate Meta by taking positive steps to prevent the spread of fake news, disinformation, and hate speech.
Paving the way for the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Umar, who began his presentation with the policy framework put in place by the President Muhammad Buhari-led administration's plan for the region. And to achieve it, he said a policy initiative was drawn.
The approval granted by Mr. President to the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs to supervise the operations of the Niger Delta Commission, and also under that policy actions and initiatives, to also mention the forensic audits which Mr. President approved.
With a presidential mandate, the ministry has lived above board. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government has completed a total of 553 projects and programs in the Niger Delta region between 2015 and 2022. This was contained in performance scorecard presented by the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Umar and Kenneth Nani reports.
The Niger Delta Affairs Ministry is the 12th in the PMB scorecard series, and the Minister, Umar, puts the capital appropriations of the ministry between 2015 and 2022 at 220.5 billion naira, out of which a total of 178.5 billion naira have been released. He explains that out of 338-kilometer east-west dual carriage road project with 41 bridges running across 4 states, 291 kilometers have been completed with the 41 bridges, while other road projects of 102.55 kilometers have also been completed across states of the Niger Delta region.
The ministry is constructing interstate and other road projects in the region to add to the national road network, and within the period under review,
the ministry, he says, also completed 3 skills acquisition centers ongoing in 9 states of the Niger Delta. The minister also pointed to 220 housing units at various levels of completion as part of efforts to address the housing deficit in the area, as well as interventions made in education and environment sectors. Within the period under review also, the ministry completed 44 electrification and 45 water projects across states of the Niger Delta. Establishment of agro-processing plants, social infrastructure and human capacity development projects, as well as peace and security interventions, were other areas the ministry recorded progress.
Over 6,000 women and youths trained and empowered in various vocational, entrepreneurial, and agricultural skills. 5.4 billion was spent on this during the period. As part of the training, each beneficiary was given between 300,000 and 500,000 naira, as well as startup packs, depending on the vocation. Of course, the ADDC headquarters, which was also completed recently, gunboats supplied and delivered to the Nigerian Navy, firefighting equipment. This was in Abia State.
Medical outreach programs to complement various health facilities projects ongoing at various levels of completion are other areas the ministry made interventions.
Minister Umar assured Nigerians that all the projects ongoing in the Niger Delta will be completed, especially with the approval given by the federal government on the variation course of the East-West Road. It was also specific that all the funds recovered by the EFCC on behalf of the ministry will be made public as soon as the ministry receives a comprehensive financial report. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Okay, thank you so much, Kenneth, for that. Now, up ahead on News Extra, it is the season of carols. So join us again for some melodious voices, just as politics holds sway in our next segment. Do stay with us.
It's emotion. Nigeria, Africa, and the world. From all of us at Glow, we wish you joy unlimited. I dey look for pension fund administrator. Waste up, make sense, wake care for me. No be the time when story go enter the matter when it's time to deliver. No. The branch sure them no go stress you. Call them, then they accessible. Yes. Customer care way they on point. No go regret when you try. Of course, promisable investment. Everything will just a blend. Make you choose premium pension today. Make that switch to premium pension. Premium pension. Make that switch to premium pension. Join over 700,000 satisfied members and enjoy the premium experience at our offices across the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT. Call 094615-700-704 to make the switch today. Premium pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
I'm about to serve better breakfast.
If you're in Lagos, you need to see this.
I'm not just streaming content, I'm just escaping traffic.
Get more data to enjoy exclusive content. Dial *141# now.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has fixed Monday, 12th December 2022 to Sunday, 22nd January 2023 as the dates for the collection of PVCs nationwide from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily, including Saturdays and Sundays. All registrants who are yet to collect their PVCs or requested for transfer of registration, as well as those who applied for the replacement of lost or damaged PVCs, can now visit INEC local government offices where they intend to vote to collect their PVCs. Collection of PVCs will be further extended to ward level for those who are unable to collect theirs at local government offices from Friday 6th to Sunday, 15 January 2023. Thereafter, the exercise will be reverted to the local government offices of the INEC until Sunday, 22nd January 2023. Remember, only those with PVC can vote on election day. Collect your PVC now to vote. It is your duty. This message is brought to you by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC,
and supported by the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP.
Everyone has a Chivita this season. What's your Chivita?
Well, great to have you back on News Extra. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo hosted the 2022 annual Christmas concert at the presidential villa with inspiring ministrations, all coming together in celebration of the festive season at the Cairo event themed Messiah. State House correspondent Judy Unifadi reports.
Through the praise from the mouth of babies and infants, you have established a stronghold against the enemies to silence the foe and the avenger. This is according to Psalm 8, verse 2. At this Christmas carol, everyone is let loose to render praise and thanksgiving and honor to God for the birth of Jesus Christ. Besides the Vice President and his wife, there are many other dignitaries at the event. In his message titled The Messiah and the Encounter That Transforms Lives, the Primate of the Anglican Communion, Nigeria, the Most Reverend Henry Ndukuba, noted that Jesus Christ, who is the center of history, renews mankind's hope and faith in eternal life.
For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulder.
He says encountering the Messiah restores man's purpose in life, gives peace, and brings reconciliation with God, in order for man to experience truth and the living God. He urged Nigerians to be mindful of the celebration of Christmas, avoiding the attempt to commercialize the celebration across the world. Chaplain of the Aso Villa Chapel, Oluwaseyi Imalomo, speaks on the significance of holding a Christmas carol.
Is to reawaken in our minds, in our being, in our consciousness, the fact that our Savior Jesus Christ indeed was born, indeed is alive, indeed he reigns.
Music ministration were from various invited guest artists and groups across the country. The Christmas concert at the Presidential Villa is an annual event hosted during the festive season by either a sitting president or the vice president. From the banquet hall of the State House, Jude Unifade, NT News.
Created after the horrors of World War I in the city of Cambridge, the Festival of Nine Lessons and Carols is a tradition which mourns the tragedy of war yet celebrates the hope of peace, and the Naval Officers' Wives Association NOAA has kept the tradition alive to draw attention to the sacrifices of heroes past and present. Defense correspondent Najatu Tijani reports.
Characterized by Christmas carols and 9 readings from scripture, the Night of 9 Lessons is a reminder of the triumph of good over evil. Keeping the tradition established by Reverend Eric Milner White in 1918, who witnessed the horrors of war as an army chaplain, the Naval Officers' Wives Association, in solidarity with the military around the world, sings songs of victory and hope despite the reality of war and conflict.
Despite the negative predictions against our nation, we have managed to be able to deliver.
A night of 9 lessons, and Christmas is a season of love, expressing joy, happiness, and sharing happiness around.
Forgive one another, pray for peace, help the poor and the less privileged.
The Naval Officers' Wives Association has another lesson to share: that mankind is one before God and peace should be the ultimate goal. Najaa Tijani, NTA News.
From beautiful carols, let's talk politics. Now, in a bid to ensure a victorious 2023 presidential elections, Labour Party has committed to seeking divine intervention for its candidate. At a prayer rally in collaboration with the Nigerian Interfaith Alliance, religious leaders re-echoed the supremacy of God, who only can give power. David Irie has that.
Leaders across religious faiths are here speaking in one voice as ambassadors of peace to intercede for Labour Party and its presidential candidate, with a conviction that the victory of Peter Obi will fast-track the growth of the country. They are also seeking God's protection for all the players throughout the campaigns and a peaceful 2023 general election.
People from the 36 states of the Federation, they have come together, Christians and Muslims and even traditionalists, to declare that Peter Obi is not an Igbo candidate. He's a Nigerian with character, he's a Nigerian with conscience, and 2023 we have declared and endorsed him to be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
On the happiness of friends, the happiness of people, the job, every part of Nigeria. No group with Nigeria will regret what is coming.
The party is also looking forward to betting a Nigeria where the people will be united, irrespective of religion and tribe, with honest, diligent and just leaders.
We are united with one purpose, in the name of God that created heaven and earth. Muslims, Christians, and other religions have come together to call on the Creator. There's nothing more powerful than this.
The party plans to hold the prayer rally across various states of the Federation before the 2023 general election. In Abuja, David Irie, NTA News.
In the meantime, the campaign train of the All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu has hit Niger State, where he was accorded a warm and rousing reception by the party members and supporters. Hussein Musa reports that the APC presidential candidate also inaugurated campaign offices and vehicles donated by the party stalwarts to aid the proposed unified campaign structure in the state.
The All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Ahmed Bola Tinubu at the official flag-off of the campaign ahead of the 2023 general elections showed his appreciation this way. The APC presidential candidate also commended the people of the state for their support. Key stakeholders of the party also made personal donations of vehicles and office accommodation to fast-track Tinubu Shatima campaign across Niger State.
All the candidates here are united. The constitution will continue. Of course, there will be some hindrances, environment, but we're making progress. Collectively, all of us as candidates in Niger State decided to put this together, that we are going to pursue a common cause and we are going to battle for everyone here.
The APC presidential candidate Ahmed Bola Tinubu and his entourage met the Emir of Mina, Alhaji Umar Farouk Bahagu, at his palace behind closed doors. In Mina, Hussein Musa, NTA News.
Similarly, wife of the All Progressives Congress presidential candidate, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, says she appreciates the goodwill her husband enjoys, which is increasing support and brightening the chances of Tinubu Shatima ticket. She made the comment at an engagement with spouses of APC members of the House of Representatives in the 9th National Assembly, where the role of women towards ensuring electoral victory came to the fore. Salihu Banara reports.
Having launched the women wing of the 2023 Tinubu Shatima presidential campaign in 5 out of the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, the team, led by the chairman, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, is not resting on its oars in mobilizing more support for the APC. In view of the increasing political consciousness, particularly among the women folk, These spouses of APC members in the House of Representatives in the current 9th National Assembly have expressed willingness to actively participate to deliver the APC at the polls come February 2023.
We have already been involved in the past in the grassroots. We know how important it is to be with the people at the grassroots, and we will just continue doing the same.
Things have changed from our time. The women are up and doing, and then we can count on them to reach, the grassroots for us.
Oluremi Tinubu told her visitors that positive action speaks louder than words. Now that the D-Day draws ever closer, she encouraged them to bring their wealth of experience and influence to bear in the party's aspirations with door-to-door campaigns. In Abuja, Stadio Gwanara, NTA News.
Let's head to Lokoja now, where the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has charged political parties and their supporters to adhere to electoral guidelines while carrying out activities of the party. Kogi State INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner Longpet gave the charge during a meeting with political party representatives as well as traditional rulers in the state. Francis Udodo has the report.
Is bordering on the need for stakeholders to stick to electoral guidelines, especially during campaigns, avoidance of hate speech, thuggery, before, during and after elections dominated discussions at the meeting of stakeholders.
The law says you have to inform INEC and the police 10 days before your date of campaign and rallies. However, we've not been able to receive a single notification at the state level by any political party.
It will be fear of fear. When you have a candidate that cannot campaign, when you have a candidate that if you go there, you see. But our Israeli commissioner is making us to understand that it is a thing of the past.
The need for electorates to ensure they collect their PVCs to guarantee lawful participation in the forthcoming general elections was also emphasized. INEC is assuring Nigerians of a safe environment for the smooth conduct of the general elections while appealing to the public for cooperation to achieve greater results. From Lokoja, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
And away from that now, in line with Globalcom's commitment to the continued empowerment of its esteemed customers, the Festival of Joy promo is another opportunity to reward them with amazing prizes. This came to bear at the presentation of prizes to winners in the promo organized by Globalcom for its subscribers in Ijebu-Ode and environs. Correspondent Bumi Oni was part of the event and now reports.
The official presentation of prizes to winners of the Festival of Joy promo was done a day after the lucky draw for the emergence of winners, which took place at the Globalcom office along Folagbade Road, Ijebu-Ode. The regional manager sales in Ogun, Mr. Ikena Aguwom, noted that Globalcom's commitment to the well-being of its customers prompted the concept of the yearly promo by the chairman of Globalcom, Dr. Mike Adenuga Jr.
Our commitment to the total well-being of our subscribers is the key reason this promo was conceptualized.
The Commissioner of Information and Strategy, Wahid Odushile, said the program, in no doubt, has assisted the citizens, especially with the public-private partnership scheme of Governor Dapo Abiodun-led administration. Represented by the Abuja of Ijebuland Chief Dr. Fasi Adetokunbo Yusuf, the Bagbimo of Ijebuland, in his own opinion, commended Globalcom, saying the event is a form of empowerment to residents. A brand new Kia car was presented to his winner. 23 customers went away with rechargeable fans, 2 with power generating sets, while 4 lucky subscribers received sewing machines. The lucky winners who could not hide their feelings showered encomiums on Globalcom PLC.
So grateful. I'm really happy. I don't even believe I can wake up. Pray may Almighty God bless Glow. May Glow not come down in Jesus' name. Okay, man.
It should be recalled that hundreds of subscribers also benefited from this similar promo, which generated excitement about this time last year. In Ijebu-Ode, Bumi Oni, NTA News.
Congratulations to the winners. Nigerian workers can still live a quality life despite declining values in income if they can adopt extra sources of income. This is the message from Samzuga Business Empire as they introduce the salary for life package to immigration workers in Abuja. Ekene Ndulwe reports.
Narratives like salaries of workers not being enough to cater for their needs is one that has become common among the working class over the years. Samzuga Business Empire says workers can still turn around their fortune if they key into the Salary for Life program the organization has to offer. This engagement with the Nigeria Immigration Service is to clear grey areas around the program and highlight benefits available.
You see, salary for life, you understand, is here to actually give financial freedom to the downtrodden. Salary for life is here to eradicate poverty.
And if you talk about civil service, I think they are the worst states, considering the civil service package in Nigeria, So when you get this done from them, you liberate them, you guarantee them for a future.
The CEO, Archbishop Professor Samzuga, decided to empower all civil servants who are on salary. Because you see, our money keeps depreciating.
The prospects are promising, says these officers, as they hope for a way around the economic situation of things.
What we are being taught is a conception by a Nigerian, tested by Nigerians and for Nigerians.
Right now, only your salary cannot sustain you. So it's a way forward, it's a good development for us to have an extra saving.
It will help us, help other officers to stay away from problem if they can make other means of getting money.
Organizers believe this is an effective welfare plan for workers, and they are planning to extend the services to other organizations. Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
A bit on security news now. The Police Affairs Ministry is taking cognizance of the importance of ensuring that its personnel are in consonance with best practices to give an effective administrative backing to the personnel in the Nigerian police in reducing crime in the country. It is building the capacity of its directors on performance management system in 6 key areas. Francis Fong will tell us all about it.
It's going to really assist us greatly.
Mariam Dalhatu Abdul Malik is the Director of Reforms, Coordination and Service Improvement in the Ministry of Peace Affairs. She hopes that the capacity building training will assist in achieving set goals and objectives.
By the time we all embrace performance, definitely all of us are going to excel in performing and in also giving quality service to the citizenry.
The capacity building workshop, which focuses on 6 key priority areas of performance management system, innovation, welfare and digitization, amongst others, is part of the federal government's drive towards reforming the federal civil service for enhanced productivity.
Also, it's going to ensure that indeed reward and recognition is based strictly on performance. It's not going to be business as usual.
I expect the directors to go back to also entrench this within their own department.
Earlier on, the Minister of Police Affairs, Muhammad Magaridin Gyadi, has appealed to Nigerians to support the Nigeria Legion to enable it to perform its responsibility to families and dependents of fallen heroes in the country. The minister made the appeal when a delegation from the Ministry of Defense and Nigeria Legion visited him in his office in Abuja.
We have this responsibility to make our windows might to ensure that we support your cause, we support the families of fallen heroes.
Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration is an annual event to appreciate the gallantry, services and accomplishment of veterans of the First and Second World Wars, as well as the efforts of members of the armed forces and the police in maintaining peace and security of lives and property. Francis from NTA News.
And the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, in collaboration with the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC), have inaugurated new anti-corruption and transparency units of the Corps nationwide. Abdulrahman Jibrila reports that the initiative will curb sharp practices in the Corps.
Building effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions are essential tools in achieving sustainable development in public service. These are the 55 new inductees taking oath with promise to ensure a corrupt-free organization. Actions speak louder than voice. The Commandant General is giving his commitment to provide support in achieving the set goals.
The country is preparing for elections, and this active personnel, now that they have been inducted, it will help you to enshrine integrity in the conduct of personnel in the election period. They would enlighten both NSCD personnel and civilians about the need for integrity as well as anti-corruption stance of the Corps for elections.
Activity that supports movement of organizations, building strong institutions and ethical workers through instincts such as periodic declaration of stand on and against corruption.
Upholding ethics and maintaining the standard of operations, the CG said is the challenge before the unit heads to record another success in the ICPC integrity assessment. Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
Thank you, Abdurrahman. Ask me about when Nigeria got her independence and I will answer 1960 without batting a lead. That's the power of history. Its return to the nation's educational curriculum and why it pays to invest in primary healthcare are stories and much more to watch out for when we return from this next break that beckons.
Sometimes before I step on stage, my mind gets clouded. But that's when I know it's time to take that deep, tum-tum cooling breath.
My people, my name is Emeka. Mekus Kamat. Let me get all this people. I don't learn my lesson. Somebody come buy motor for my hand, carry big money, come give me. Now when we get bust, then my eye open. I don't know see that 419 be. Now when EFCC grab him, then they come grab me too. Now he make me they warn you. All of them when they do business like me, where they carry big money, when I go sometimes I go carry transfer, carry bring back. They could shine in my eye because the special control unit against money laundering, when they call SCUMO, they don't want to say if the money pass 5 million naira for individual, no collect them. If he pass 10 million naira for company, no collect them. Can I go where? Bank. If you not do them like that, 250,000 naira for every day where this offense happen, or they go suspend your license, or they go cuckoo, shut them down, pata for your hand. No talk say I no warn you.
This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
Never again should this happen. We have passed through this path before, and it was not good for us. I remember the horror, the crying, the blood, dead bodies everywhere. I almost lost my mind. I could not sleep. I remember the cry of innocent children. Many lives were changed forever. We shall never go through that path again. Let us all stand in solidarity with our armed forces, our men and women. Oh, we must stand in truth, in honesty, to build a vibrant nation, a nation that you and I can be proud of.
Like a bird needs wings to fly, you need skills to be productive. No matter the level of your education, ITF can train you to acquire skills in areas like mechatronics, metal machining, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, information and communication technology, ICT, culinary art, and agriculture. Acquire a skill and transform yourself from being unemployed to becoming even an employer. Be a valuable Nigerian youth. Say no to unemployment and poverty.
Wings and fly so high. I'll reach for the stars, yeah, it's time.
Industrial Training Fund, developing the nation's human resource.
You're welcome back. Let's now turn our attention to what I would like to refer to as a heartwarming conversation around the education sector. It is that subject in school that deals with the study of the past and a form of collective memory. It is the study of who we are as a people, where we come from, and can potentially reveal where we are headed. I guess by now you know that I am referring to history. You would recall that it was removed from the nation's curriculum some years ago, but embedded inside another subject, social studies. This was between 2010 and 2019, and of course scholars and other key players in the education sector joined forces in the advocacy for the return of the subject due to its importance. The good news is that the federal government's recent reversal of the educational policies saw the return of history as a subject. Ifeanyi Ezumba examines processes leading to the reversal of the educational policy.
Many have adduced that the massive criticism, public outcry, and the intervention of the National Assembly was what was required to immediately activate the policy reversal. The argument for removal of the subject was based on inadequate teachers and poor job prospects.
History is very important. Unfortunately, it's one of the subjects we are not reckoning with in Nigeria today.
History, for me, shouldn't be a debate. History should never be removed in the first place. It's so fundamental to the children of today to learn what life was like in the past.
I want to study history because it is interesting and it tells us about our founding fathers and the development of our country.
I understand that history helps us predict the future and is a study of past events.
Experts believe that the reintroduction of history as an independent subject into the basic and junior secondary schools in the country will help to achieve in-depth educational knowledge of the past as a means to understand the path into the future.
History has always been in the curriculum, and it was, like you rightly observed, was removed some years back, like 10 years back, and now back. And we in the ERC look, it's our responsibility to make sure that the curriculum is implemented.
Minister of Education Adamu, who gave the directive for the reintroduction of history, said it would allow students to know more about the country and give citizens a national identity, patriotism, and overall human development. Educationists say history curriculum has now been designed to expose students to a body of knowledge that will enable them appreciate history as an instrument of national integration and nation building.
We, the educationists, we have been finding it difficult that history has to leave the curriculum. And then? What is the past events that we have to tell our children about?
I believe that with history in our curriculum today, our children will have the right value. They will learn our norms. They will know where we've started, the value we were based on, and certainly it will be a good way forward.
Stakeholders say it would deepen positive understanding of the traditional values and identities, as well as the similarities and differences between the various Nigerian people. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NT News.
Ask me of the best health investment and I will simply ask you to start with primary health care because it is the cornerstone of healthcare. That's what this next report is all about. Yobe State huge investment in the health sector is yielding the desired result, as the recent multiple indicator cluster survey and national immunization coverage show significant improvement in maternal and child health indices in the state. This came to fore at the inauguration of one out of the 138 primary healthcare centers constructed by the state government to bring quality healthcare services closer to the people at the grassroots. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
Is in fulfillment of Governor Memala Bunu's pledge during his inaugural speech in 2019 of either upgrading, rehabilitating, or constructing at least one functional primary healthcare center in each of the 178 political wards in the state. This marks the official inauguration of Gwenge Primary Healthcare Center in Damaturu, one out of the 138 recently constructed by Yobe State Government in its drive to make quality healthcare services accessible and affordable to people in the state.
One of the cardinal objectives of our administration is to provide quality healthcare delivery, to reduce mortality and morbidity rates due to communicable diseases, and also reverse the prevalence of non-communicable diseases, to meet global targets and significantly increase life expectancy and quality of life of our citizens.
Strengthening primary healthcare system is key to attaining universal health coverage and achieving the health-related sustainable development goals, as primary healthcare addresses the health needs of all patients at the community level, integrating healthcare prevention, promotion, and education.
As the construction of the remaining 40 primary healthcare centers is underway, another set of customized tricycle ambulances were also launched to facilitate the transportation of expectant mothers in labor or other emergencies from hard-to-reach communities to primary healthcare centers, as well as referral to either secondary or tertiary health facilities. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
Amazing one there. Let's go traditional now. I have heard it said in some quarters that food cooked in coal pots amid smoke tastes better. You would like to hear experts' opinion on that though. Nevertheless, the use of charcoal for cooking is gradually becoming a popular alternative to liquefied petroleum gas, as Nigerians, irrespective of status, are now embracing it. Could it be as a result of the high increase on the price of the cooking gas? Well, Olubukola Aduo will tell us about it.
Latest report by the National Bureau of Statistics shows that the average price for refilling a 12.5 kg cylinder of cooking gas rose by 119.3% to 9,899 naira in August 2022 from the same period last year. As the prices of cooking gas and kerosene continue to increase, majority of households are exploring the use of coal pots for cooking, which they found cheaper, readily available, eco-friendly, and does not stain their pots.
I have 2.5 kg. I cannot feel it. I cannot use it. I'm using charcoal.
You should just be careful. Don't pour out your charcoal there when you are done.
Before now, the use of coal pots for cooking was associated with poverty and people living in the rural areas. But the story is fast changing now, because people, regardless of location, status or class, are now embracing it for both domestic and commercial purposes. Coal pots, which come in various sizes, consist of the metal pots. The small size sells as low as 900 naira, while the medium size sells for about 1,700 naira. Fumilala Karim, a 43-year-old entrepreneur who sells, among other things, fried fish, says the use of coal pots for our business helps in maximizing profit, as the price of charcoal is cheaper compared to gas and firewood.
The gas is too much and it's too cost now. So that's why we are using charcoal, and we are buying it just 100 naira, 200 naira. And if you want to fill gas, you must fill it 850 naira.
Experts, however, warned that proper precaution must be taken, as charcoal produces carbon monoxide, which can lead to poisoning and deaths, particularly if operated in a tightly sealed or enclosed space.
people using charcoal pots, they should use it in an environment that is properly ventilated, open space, so that the little or the no amount of gas that's generated will get diffused.
In this dry season, let them be very vigilant in their kitchen. Whenever they are cooking, let them not discuss with others. Let them be with what they are cooking.
The federal government, through the National LPG Sensitization and Awareness Campaign, assures that effective implementation of the program would help to stop Nigerians from using other energy sources that are harmful to health and the environment to cooking gas considered cleaner and more efficient energy. Experts, however, believe that by 2030, one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals adopted by the United Nations, which is to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy for all, would have been achieved. In Adoikiti, Olubukola, Aduwo, NTA News.
Thank you, Olubukala, for that. Now, let's talk about fuel queues. Although the queues are yet to totally disappear, but fuel situation in Lagos is showing greater promise, with the number of dispensing filling stations increasing. Motorists, however, want monetary measures to be heightened so as to guarantee availability as the festive holidays approach. Michael Olale reports.
This is one of the convergence points for motorists and commuters willing to connect major places in Lagos. But for Modupe Ajayi, the next destination from here comes with overwhelming price.
In a day now, I used to spend 1.5 on transport. So I have to trek down to where I'm going now. It's a bit far.
The pressure on transport fare actually started here, as the jostle for petrol is still for the fittest. In fact, this crew was caught in the web as the manager of one of the petrol stations visited threatened to destroy the camera. In the last 1 month, Christopher Osai said he has spent more time at the filling station than at home, and today his chance of getting the commodity seems slim.
It's too much. I can't sleep in my house again because I want to use fuel. In fact, there's enough fuel, but we can't see it.
The cost is as much as 270 naira per liter. I'm begging the government to do what they can because the stress is really hitting on us.
Kayode Anuluwapo, a banker, believes government strategy on enforcing the sales of the commodity is working.
Sincerely speaking, in the past for like some weeks now, the queue used to be off the way from down towards the bridge, but now the queue is not that much. So things is getting better now. They are selling it.
I didn't call it queue, considering what was happening 3 weeks ago.
As the festive holidays draw nearer, the fate of residents seems to be hanging at the balance on whether enforcement on government stance on prompt dispensing of fuel across petrol stations in the metropolis will ease the scarcity for the joy of the season to be shared with family and friends. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority is taking concrete steps to ensure accountability and accuracy of financial reports in the authority. Management of the organization says the NTA 2022 National Auditors Conference has been designed to bring auditors in the organization up to speed with global best practices. Tokwe Alabi reports.
For the past 1 week, internal auditors drawn from all NTA stations for this year's National Auditors Conference have been going through presentations hinged on global best practices on how to prevent and verify accuracy of financial records. Ensuring that NTA complies with tax norms is part of the engagement. Aliyu Musa Suleiman from Jos and Nijan Ebira from Port Harcourt say takeaways from the conference will impact positively on their jobs.
The only way to improve the system is by facing your affairs, the risks.
You meet so many challenges, so many situations. So with what we've learned today, you'll be able to, know how to handle those situations.
We should not be biased while discharging our duty. Then at the same time, we should ensure that we maintain the laid down rules and regulations.
There shall be accountability. There shall be a change where there is deficiency.
This conference will enable NTA to have reasonable money on control.
As an auditor, we are not just limited to the financial aspect of operations in NTA. We are supposed to audit other departments.
One of the biggest challenges of auditing is revenue recognition, apart from fraud, inventory accuracy, and information delays. With this conference, NTA internal auditors are better equipped with tools and skills needed for them to promote transparency and accountability. From the NTA headquarters in Abuja, Tokbe Alabi, NTA News.
Next is business news with Musa Abakar.
Thank you, Fatima. Oil prices rose on Wednesday after OPEC and the International Energy Agency both forecast a rebound in demand over the course of next year, and as U.S. rate hikes are expected to ease alongside slowing inflation. CNBC reports that Brent crude futures last rose 2.48% to $81.88 per barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were up $1.96 at $77.35. Both contracts fell around 11% last week. It's a positive trading day on the Nigerian equities market as the NGX all-share index appreciated to 48,988.04 basis points. Market capitalization also increased to 26.6 trillion naira. Investors exchanged 88 million shares valued at 1.6 billion naira in 2,832 deals. Shares in the financial industry were the most active for the day. That's a quick look at business news. It's back to you, Fatima.
Thank you so much, Musa. Now, another set of the ones we refer to as leaders of tomorrow takes their first step at the 7th Assembly of a National Children's Parliament got inaugurated. Details of these and much more to come.
Not like overconfident women.
Don't touch me without my permission.
I'm a playful guy and I do get carried away sometimes.
You are selfish, manipulative, and you are a narcissist.
All I've done for you.
What have you done for me? She called me Barry.
You know my mom doesn't know any better, right?
You say that now, but then when you see your mother, you start to act like you're deaf and dumb. You were supposed to be more careful.
I've been.
Clearly not enough.
In a third final in 20 years.
Now you can get a GoTV decoder, GoTV, and 1 month of GoTV Jolly for only 4,900 naira and enjoy all the show-stopping games live from Qatar on GoTV.
Thanks for staying. The mentorship of children to be tomorrow's leaders has again played out in the election and inauguration of the 7th Assembly of the National Children's Parliament. Ngozi Technical reports that the new speaker from Akwa Ibom State presided over the first plenary sitting.
As a member of the Nigerian Children's Parliament, I will perform my function honestly to the best of my ability.
That oath of allegiance ushers in Progress Ume into the Parliament as the new Speaker, 7th Assembly of the National Children's Parliament. After the swearing-in of other key leaders, the Speaker performed her first parliamentary function.
I, Honorable Minister, since resumption of office and with the support of our beloved President Umar has ensured that the life of every child matters.
The event was an assemblage of all and sundry, including the Minister of Women Affairs and other development partners.
Of the election, which was transparent, free and fair, that goes to show that our children will grow to be good leaders of this great country.
Entrusted with the responsibility of millions of children in Nigeria, I would like to assure you of the continued support of Save the Children International.
Though they are children with presumed less exposure on issues of leadership, the coordination and decorum displayed was a sign of better crops of leaders going forward. The ball is set rolling for the children to bring to bear their wealth of experience to really indicate that children have the mental capacity to contribute to nation building, especially on issues that borders on their welfare. In Abuja, Ngozi Technical, NTA News.
A sad one now. In spite of the intensification of the campaign by the FRSC against dangerous parking on the highways, especially by articulated vehicles, the phenomenon is continuing unabated, resulting to more carnage on our highways. A case at hand was when a trailer recently loaded with cattle and about 50 passengers from Ilela in Sokoto State en route Lagos rammed into a stationary truck along Kokoyawuri Kontogoro Road, resulting to the loss of lives, 14 lives, with dozens injured, some of them fatally. Nasir Shuaibu files in this report.
The ever-busy nature of Jego-Kokoya-Uri Kontagora Highway makes it prone to mishaps, but not like the one witnessed in the early hours of Monday, 12th of December. First respondents confirmed 13 people to have lost their lives instantly, with additional death being recorded the following day. 25 of the passengers sustained various degrees of injuries, resulting to their being admitted to Koko General Hospital. Of the 75 cattle being conveyed, 25 died instantly, while the rest also sustained various injuries. Yusuf Aliu Haruna is the Sector Commander, Federal Road Safety Commission, Kebbi State.
You see, trailer is an iron, serious iron, and because the speed is high, he went and hit a stationary parked vehicle, tanker. And that tanker is on the road shoulder, it's not on the road.
He speak on the way forward.
If you see any accident that claim lives or loss of life, definitely there's speed. Because the impact of the speed is the one that will make all the vehicle, damage the vehicle and damage the occupant inside.
As the festive season inches closer, the need for caution among motorists, especially drivers of articulated vehicles, should be their watchword to ensure safety on the roads. In Birni Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
We are now at the outside, our last break now, after which we bring you sports.
This is the moment we've been waiting. It's time to rise up, do it again. Africa, do your dance now. Go do your winning dance now. So we never lose it again. Africa rise up, yes we gon' rise up. Africa rise up, Africa rise up, yes we gon' rise up. Africa rise up.
Let's do sports now. Morocco's run at the Qatar 2022 World Cup has been amazing, though Morocco's aspiration to become the first African team to make it to the finals failed moments ago after conceding 2 goals to the defending champions, France. More reports on sports with Chukunoso Mwabweze.
Nigeria's national men's hockey team has qualified for the inaugural International Hockey Federation F1H Hockey 5S World Cup in Oman in 2024, despite losing 6-8 to hosts Egypt in their 4th qualifying match. The team, which secured the ticket after finishing second behind Egypt in the African qualifiers that began Sunday, will again face the host on Thursday in the final of the competition. Meanwhile, Nigeria's John Peter tops the scorers chart with 11 goals. Still in Egypt, Nigeria's Omotosho Samson has won silver at the just concluded 2nd African Skate Games in Cairo. Samson, who finished second in line freestyle high jumping skating among skaters from 15 countries, urged the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development to give more support to the game.
I just feel they should just look into this sport and support other athletes, man, because there's a lot of athletes in skating and I wish they could support them so we can go as a team, not just me representing Nigeria this time around.
And in swimming, Italy has set a new men's world record at the ongoing 16th FINA World Swimming Championships in Melbourne, Australia. The Italian team outpaced hosts Australia before setting the new world record of 3.02.75 seconds in the men's 25-meter short course World Championships to win gold, with the United States settling for the bronze. The 6-day championship ends on Sunday. And that's sports update. I am Chukunonso Mwabweze, NTN News.
From sports, let's look at the weather update for tomorrow, Thursday.
For Thursday's weather forecast, we expect most places to be generally sunny with hazy atmosphere across the central part of the country. Partly cloudy skies are expected over the inland cities of the south. However, we anticipate cloud build-up along the coastline of the country with possibilities of isolated thunderstorms to parts of Cross River, Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, rivers extending to some parts of Ondo, Lagos and Ogun State in the late afternoon into evening hours. For the air quality on Thursday, we expect those cities that appear in orange coloration to have unhealthy air for sensitive people. Talking about the northwestern region, some parts of Yola and Makurdi. That's our beat from here. I am Joyce Ogunleye. Thank you for watching.
Well, weather update there concludes News Extra tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I am Fatima Buba. Please stay safe.
Hello everyone. Proud African Roots present a fun time for children and teenagers across Nigeria and the globe.
Everything she was trying to open
I don't need a torch, I just need that.
You learned a thing or two from showing every every Saturday by 9:30 a.m. on NTA Network. It is going to be a fun time with Grandma Wura and all the Blue Table Talk with Dave and Jen. Catch you soon.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Hello and welcome to Executive Discuss, coming to you on the network service of the NTA. My name is Ololade Adeniji. My guest on the program today is a man of many parts. For me, he holds dear to my heart because he was once my boss and he would always be my boss. He was one-time Director General of the Nigeria Television Authority, the NTA. Of course, he was also an Executive Director News. At one time, he was also the Director General, National Orientation Agency. He is a professor 2 times over, a broadcaster, a lawyer, an administrator, and of course, a professor of broadcast management and media law. He is Dr. Tony Iradia. It's good to have you on the show with us today, sir.
Thank you very much.
I want to start with your experience in the NTA, because I know that you started your career in the NTA even before it became NTA right there in Benin. And, well, you've always been a news person through and through. What was it about broadcasting for you that drew you to the profession from so early in your years?
Well, thank you very much. Broadcasting is a very large terminology. I've always been interested in television broadcasting. I never really liked the radio part, even though I had opportunity to work in those days in a system that had both radio and TV combined. My interest really has been my understanding of the steps in the media. If you are just a reader, you're okay for newspaper. If you are a good reader, a good listener, you're okay for TV. If you're a good writer, a good listener, a good viewer, you're okay for television. So I always thought that television was the third and the highest. And so even though I liked the media, I wanted to go to the highest. I didn't just want to be able to write for people to read. I wanted to write for people to listen, and I wanted to be able to write for people to listen and see. So those 3 things gave me an impression that you are virtually graduating from one arm of the occupation to a higher one and to the highest one. So I was always wanting to be in television. Just like I never wanted to go away from the federal system to the state. So if you like, you call it whatever name, director, general, managing director of state-owned TV or whatever. I prefer to just be a reporter in the federal system because I was very conscious of how the state system works, right? It works so in the federal too, but somehow the federal is a little bit distant. The state is a little bit domesticated. And so it's very easy for you to have a daily problem with public officers who are not in the broadcast system. I think that's what made me want television.
And in television, you were in the news department, and